Okay. All right. Good evening. Today is May 12th, I think, 2015, and welcome to our Plexus Leader Launch. This is a newer presentation, but I found it from Deborah Lawson, who is an Emerald, she is a Diamond Ambassador now, but it was something she did when she was an Emerald Ambassador, so I figured she knew what she was doing, so I was going to borrow. So I'm going to share our screen, and we will go ahead and get started. So can everybody on screen hear me? You hear me? Okay. All right. Make sure we've got that. So let me share the screen. All right. So, can everybody see the pink rocket ship? Okay, good. We're good. Technology is cooperating. All right, let me adjust the camera a little bit so y'all can see me as we are talking. All right, so welcome aboard, and I believe everybody here is an ambassador, correct? All right, cool. All right, and everybody online I know is an ambassador. So. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, this is something that I found from Deborah Lawson, who is a Diamond Ambassador, and one person that I really admire, because she is, Brianna, yes, take a couple of these chairs and slide them on around over there. Is it okay to scan? Yeah, that's fine. As long as they can see. As long as everybody can see. All right, so Deborah Lawson is one of those people that I really admire because she started out as, she didn't know anything about network marketing. She was just getting started with just Plexus and just looking for a way to lose some weight. And I really admire where she's come, and her attitude is that one of the greatest things that she seems to love about this business is you get to make and meet new friends. And everybody in here I've met through, well, with the exception of Leona, I have met through Plexus. So I just love that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. With that being said, there's always the disclosure. So I'm just going to briefly go over it. I'm not going to read it word for word. Y'all are adults and can read. But this is brought to you by Plexus Ambassadors and not by Plexus Worldwide. We do not claim to cure, treat, or prevent any disease and take no personal responsibility for anybody's personal actions. Because we're going to be discussing the business aspects of it, we also, the information I'm going to share is not necessarily representative of the income that an ambassador can or will earn through the Plexus Compensation Plan, but everything depends on the ambassador's skills, work effort, and the desire to succeed, and that any of this should just be considered our opinion and our experiences and not typically representative. Okay, disclosure done. All right, so I want to find out from the people in the room, and if y'all want to unmute yourself and then mute yourself back if on the web internet, is why did you choose Plexus?
For us, it was health and wealth. Both.
Health and wealth, okay. Anybody else?
Same thing.
Same thing? So health and wealth. So those two aspects intrigued you by what you learned about Plexus. Anybody online want to add anything else? No? Okay, so we did health and wealth. So some of those are, some other things that I've heard could be to help others. Everybody see? To spend more time with your family, to have better health, and then, of course, financial freedom. So kind of tie that health and wealth right in there together. This is something that Deborah had, and I'm not going to touch on every single part of it, but I wanted to talk about the Plexus pathway. And so the first thing is you're getting started. So you signed up and you've joined. And a lot of people say that's the hardest thing, because you've got to make a decision, and making it, everything that you do starts with a decision that you make. So you've got to decide to, where you're going, what you're going to do, and sometimes that's the most difficult thing to do. So the getting started checklist, I didn't go through and put this on there, but it's typically get business cards. You want to make sure that you have business cards because you want to be able to share it with somebody. You want to make sure that you start sharing on Facebook. You want to be a product of the product. Actually, that should probably come before you start sharing on Facebook, is you want to be a product of the product. You want to take your Slim every day or your Fast Relief or whatever it is that you got into Plexus for. So there's certain little things that you want to do in order to get started. You also want to create a contact list, and sometimes this is called a memory jogger. In the back office under resources and knowledge base, there is a memory jogger that you can do in the background. There are several of them there in our big group, this ambassador group, they're in there. And those are designed to help you remember, because you think, okay, I know tons of people, and then when you start to write them down, what happens? Yeah, you forget. And then you may forget one person who's really going to be really good at this business. And I saw on one of the memory joggers, in this that she was talking about, refer to it as not only, attorney. They'll have a line in there for attorney. Is this not only your attorney, but what attorneys do you know? What attorney do you know that would be really into business? What attorney do you know that is really well known in your community? So it's not just attorneys you know, it's attorneys who you think would be great at the business. And so you want to start going through that, and you want to have a list of at least 100. And whenever you have your list of 100, now most of us, if we kept on going through it, we're going to keep adding to it. But you want to have, we call it like a master contact list. So have at least 100 on there. So that those are people that you can start to contact. Because what happens is when you start contacting the first 3, 4, 5 or so, you're going to get some yeses, you're going to get some nos. In all honesty, you'll probably get more no's. Please remember, no means not yet. That does not mean no, don't ever contact me again, unless they do tell you that, which they might. But most of the time it means not yet, or no, not now, I don't have enough information, and it may take more than one exposure. Did anybody, the first time you heard about Plexus, did you just join right then? No. Yeah, okay, we have a couple. Okay. Most of us, we had to do a little research. I mean, we needed to at least go check out the website. So we had to go do some things. But so for most people, it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 25. It can take some time to go through and do that. So you want to remember that and try not to get discouraged. And I am preaching to myself as much as I am preaching to y'all, is that it can be really easy to get discouraged when you hear no. Think about a little toddler. How many times do they go to the word no? But what do? They keep trying. They keep trying. They keep trying. We could model our behavior after little toddlers. And the next thing that you want to do is to make sure is that you invite people. And by inviting, that's not necessarily meaning invite them to an opportunity meeting, invite them to an event, but invite them to take a look at it with you. Invite them to go have coffee and conversation. Invite them to maybe go have lunch and learn. Do some things with it. Make it fun. Make it so that it's not that they feel like they are in your targets and that you are hunting them specifically. The way that I started with talking with a lot of people was simply just to reconnect. And if you have not been in contact with some people in a while, understand you're going to have to do that relationship building first, and then maybe share the information with them. Because I've done that. I lost contact with a lot of people here in this area whenever I was working in Nashville. And so I've had to reestablish that contact again and not come across as, I'm reestablishing it because I want you to join my team. Because, most people don't put the hand up. So the things that I want to really focus on tonight, though, are the power of 3, because this is what we hear. Oh, the power of 3, power of 3, power of 3. I want to do a little demonstration of what the power of 3 can mean for your business. And then also talk about committing and never quitting, because that is the sure way to failure, is just to quit. It may take you, and Jack said this one week, a couple of weeks ago, said you see all these people who get to Emerald in like 4 months. Okay, that's wonderful. That's great. It's a lot of fun to watch. But so what if it takes you 5 years? Okay, you're still going to be at Emerald. You're still going to be making good money. So what if it takes a while? That's okay. And you'll have a great story to share along the way. All right. Questions about our path to prosperity?
Can I just add something about this?
Absolutely.
first time I heard
Can you
somebody,
speak up just a little bit so that they
yeah,
can hear
I'll try
me?
to.
Okay.
The first time that I heard that we needed to try to make a list of 100 people, I thought, that's not going to happen for me because I didn't know that many people. I didn't really think that I did. But I made a list and I made it as long as I could. And I tried some of those memory joggers that help you think of who you know and who might be interested in this business. And there were people at first that I would leave off of the list because I would think, no, well, I couldn't talk to them, or that wouldn't work for them, or they wouldn't care about it, whatever. But over time, we talk a lot about personal growth in Plexus, learning about how to do things, how to be more confident in yourself, or how to be more, and just time makes you more comfortable with the products, with the stories you hear and what it can really do for people. So that, my list really did grow because there are people now that I'm comfortable talking to that back then I was like, there's no way I could say anything to them. But now I know the difference between, trying to sell something or just saying, do you want to try this? Because it really is awesome. And just being able to understand that when they say no, they don't hate me now. And, so if it seems like you can't come up with a long list, just do the longest one you can. And just know that over time, you're going to grow, your list is going to grow, and it's not going to seem as daunting.
Exactly.
I've actually found that people who you least expect, they're the most likely.
Exactly. Jack, do you have a question? Okay. The other thing I wanted to share, this is something that Eric Worre has shared, and I like listening to Eric, because sometimes Eric can be kind of brusque, but sometimes you need that little kick in the tush. But one of the things that he refers to Harvey Mackay. And if you do not know that name, look him up. Harvey MC capital Kay. Harvey Mackay is the owner of the Mackay Envelope Company. Wow, that sounds exciting. But what his father, whenever Harvey graduated from high school, said, you need to start everybody that you contact, everybody that you meet, get their contact information and find a creative way to stay in touch with them. And his Rolodex, I think it said to take up like 3 or 4 Rolodexes, those of you who remember what a Rolodex is. But his contact list would be like way out here. And I'm talking about like individual like index cards or something. He's got thousands and thousands of people on there. I think, Jack, I know you've listened to a lot of Eric Worre. Is it something like 18,000 or something like that?
I just know that it was supposed to be daily. They were supposed to make contact with somebody daily and add that. And like you said, come up with a creative way to stay in contact with that person.
Right. So you want to find a creative way to stay in contact. And that can be, if you know they're a mother, wishing them Happy Mother's Day. It can be, whenever they're a father, wishing Happy Father's Day. Seeing them in, one of their kids is in the pictures in the paper from a sports event. Hey, I saw your son. Wow, that's great. I bet you feel really proud. Just staying in touch with them, and this is about building relationships. And you're not doing it just so then you can, okay, I can swoop in later and sell them Plexus. You're doing it to really, we're communal, humans are communal. We're not supposed to live out on our own just by ourselves. We're supposed to work together. And this is a way of just building it. And these little devices that makes us think that we're in contact with people, we're really not. Because so much could be misinterpreted through phones and texts and all like that. Just read all the things about people who broke up through text. So anyway, anything, questions, any comments from the people online, our Brady Bunch people? Okay. All right, starting with the power of 3. And if you haven't seen the Sheila Medina video from last year's convention about the power of 3, let me know. I'll share it with you. But that is really, that's a way to break it down into chunks. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And in this case, it's going to start with 3 steps. But you have yourself. And then what you're looking to do is to have 3 people join in your business. And that means, they could be joining for their health reasons. They can be joining for a business reason or a combination of both. But you want to have that because it's fun, particularly whenever you just get started. It's fun if you have somebody that what's the words I'm looking for, that you want to say, hey, I've started this new business. come and join with me and we'll learn it together. Because this is a learn while you earn business. And there are very few places that allow you to do that. You do not need a degree in network marketing, which incidentally, just as a little aside, there are actually some schools now that are starting to teach classes on network marketing as a business model. I've heard that Harvard does that and some of the other schools, because people realize that it's the power of networks, being able to share that information. So then what you want to do is you want to get your 3, and then you want to teach those 3 how to get their 3 and how to get their 3. And then, so once you do that, then you start building your team. And that's whenever, particularly with Plexus, the way to get to a silver ambassador is how many ambassadors? 3, okay? The way to get to a gold ambassador is at least 20, okay? And they can be anywhere, well, you need how many points? 100 points. And so you want to, it roughly equates out to 20 levels 1 through 3 ambassadors. So by doing this right here, you've gotten 3, and then you go one more line down to level 3, the 3 by 3 by 3, then you've gotten gold. Okay? So that makes it a little bit more easier to break that down, because levels 1 through 3, you get 5 points for each of those people who have their 100 PV go through each month. So, and then in addition to that, you also get the business building bonuses whenever they buy a welcome pack. And even though it's not required to buy a welcome pack at the very beginning, they do have that option within 60 days. It is just a really good deal. And Nikki did the numbers several months back, and there are a couple of those welcome packs on there that actually are almost a 50% discount versus retail. So the larger ones are like that. So you want to think about 3 ambassadors. And the thing is that you also want to duplicate this. You want to have a goal to do this each month in order to grow your team. You want to help your team grow, but you also don't want to rely on just those 3 people to get you anywhere, because something may happen, life happens, people come and go. You don't want to have that be your only leg. Plus, once you get further up in Plexus, you need to have points outside your strongest leg. And if you have any questions about that, we can chat about that another time, or I can answer questions at the end. But I want to go ahead. This next slide really broke down the numbers for me. And this was part of Deborah's presentation. And whenever she broke down the numbers like that, I was like, oh my gosh. So without further ado, okay, so this is the power of 3 to 7 levels. The power of 3, taking it down 7 levels. So if you sponsored 3 ambassadors and everybody in your organization duplicated your efforts, your organization would look like this. I'm going to kind of turn this just a little bit that way. Anna, you can still see it, right? Okay, all right. So you have 1 level, your first level is level 3, you get 5 points in ambassadors, that's a total of 15 points. Taking it down to 2, those 3 get 9. So as you can see, you're just multiplying it all out. So it's 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. And you get above that, and I need a calculator. But notice when you get the points per ambassador, you get levels 4 and down, you get fewer points. And there's a reason for that, because more than likely, you're not the one that's doing the training with that person. So it's not. It's a good compensation plan on that. You may work very closely with your team, and there's certainly nothing against that. But so by the time you get down to 7 levels and everybody's done that power of 3, you have 3,279 people on your team.
You only have 3 level 1s.
That's
just say you know somebody that has 100 level 1s?
Yes, Charlotte Seams, who was my sponsor, actually has close to about 95 level 1s that are active. She built hers wide, and it just happened that way. I'm on her strongest leg, which is underneath her husband, and we're the deepest leg. But there are others that come in over there. But that was just the way that hers did. But I believe that Kristen and Jared Abard built theirs more like this, more of the 3 down, because they took the training that they did and duplicated it on down, and they have good, strong ambassadors. I want to say, and I've heard Jared say that he only has like 20 level 1s.
And they
Yeah.
told me
19. Okay. So, that's, he's just taught that duplication. So that's a lot. But
It's who you run into, I would imagine.
well, it is also, and I can see the people that build it strong also have a really strong network of people, and I'm sure that Jared had a really good strong network through his business and then through church and all like that. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it. And I have built mine mainly on Facebook. Leona is one of my level ones, and Leona and I've known each other since 2002 when we were teaching together. But my team is just now beginning to grow locally because I have my friends spread out all over the place. My family's not here. So,
I would like to say,
yes.
I talked to Jared Saturday.
Mhm.
One of the things he says kind of goes along with this, is the fact that what his focus is. He couldn't tell me how many people are in the business.
Yeah.
He said, I focus on going silver every month.
Yes. That's the thing that I've seen that, and Brenda Martin, who is Charlotte's upline, has also referred to that as going sterling silver. You know what sterling silver is?
Three retail customers, three preferred customers, and three customers.
Yeah, it's usually at least like 3 preferred customers and 3 ambassadors and 3 retail that's extra sterling. That's what sparkles. But those are the ones with the preferred customers are going to help you build your PB, and that's going to be, and you have the bonuses with that. And then the ambassadors are going to help you build your business, and that's where you get the points. So, but I want you to notice that if you've done this, how many points do you have at the very end? 4,893. How many points do you need to be diamond, Anna?
I think it's
4,500. Okay, so if you do this, starting with just 3 ambassadors, and they do 3, and they do 3, and they do 3, all the way down, you could be done.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, whenever I saw that, I was like,
people, and we all are gonna have more than that.
right, yeah.
That was what I was
Ups your
getting at when I said
chances.
there's, right,
Yeah.
those numbers are just if you have 3. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that have more.
So that was kind of, whenever I saw this, I was like, putting it in the PowerPoint. So if you're qualified to receive the points on that, you have that. And then say that we use this as an average number of, if the points that month were valued at $3, then that would be just in points, not in commission, not in the bonus pools or anything like that. That is $14,679 just from points. So 14,000 times 14,679 times 12 is what? Somebody do math.
Oh my goodness.
And you can do it on a calculator too.
400, 6,000. I counted this one.
That's 451,000.
It's over 170,000.
Okay, so over $170,000 a year. Would that make a nice difference in your family's life? It really would. Now, I did have somebody who had asked me about, was going through and explaining the difference between points and commission, because a lot of people will get caught up on getting the commissions and the sales. And you want that because those people can turn into ambassadors. I started as a retail customer just getting a 3-day trial, actually 2 3-day trials. And my story is a little different because I had such sensitivities. I had to start very, very slow. But some people start, like Leona said, she started as an ambassador, and then other people will start as an ambassador. But some people, they will start as customers, and they may be customers for a while before they decide, yes, I'm ready to go ahead and do this on my own. But I did the numbers. In order to get $14,679 based on PB, you would need PB in the amount of $58,000 some odd dollars.
Oh, that's neat to know.
Yes, and then of course you will have made your 25%. Now that is not including preferred customer bonuses. That gets into, yeah, it is a lot more work, and there are some teams that are just, I mean, what was it that Kristen posted today that in their whole team, $1.2 million in PB. But they've got what, well, I know in the group there are about like 4,000 people in the group.
They're about 48, 49.
Yeah.
Well, that's just in the Facebook group.
Yeah, that's in the
Yeah, that's
Facebook
just
group.
in the
Yeah,
Facebook group.
that's not saying there's anybody else that's on there. And whether or not, I guess it also depends on how far down they went, level 7 or whatever. But anyway, so does that motivate you? Yes. What about y'all online? Is that a little motivating?
I said we need to paste that everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
Every ambassador to join.
Yes. That's one of the things I wanted to have, because I was like, this makes a lot. Whenever you start breaking it down that way, and some people need to have it broken down by the numbers. You want to say, how much can I make? And whenever you say, okay, you make 25%, and then you make roughly 5 points per person, and then at first it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up. Every check that I've had since I started in Plexus last June, so I would have gotten a check in July, I've increased it each month. I've never gone back. It hasn't always been as high as I wanted it to be, but it's been there. Okay. Questions on this one?
Make an encouraging statement.
Yes.
Because it can be discouraging after you get your 3.
Yes.
That it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 3 that are building.
Yes.
Understand that you have to sponsor more cross to find those 3. And once you find those 3, that's what's going to happen. So just because you get somebody that started and they're really excited, and 2 days later they disappear off of Facebook, disappear off the face of the earth, don't get discouraged.
Right.
You haven't found that one of those 3 yet. And I'm quote an ambassador. It means I have nobody below me or anything that's active. I have one person under me, but nobody active. Doesn't stop me from continuing to do it each day, making contacts where I can.
Exactly.
And posting on Facebook where I can and stuff like that. It's a numbers game and a time game.
Yes.
Everything is in perfect timing.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, everything is in perfect timing, and it is a numbers game. Now, it is also, this also is encouraging that whenever you get, because sometimes I've heard Charlotte's told me before, if I get discouraged, then she will say, all it's going to take is 2 or 3 people who see the same vision that you do and decide that they're going to take off after it to make the difference in your business. That's what it's going to take. And so once they see that, and you're going to find people who will see this and be like, aha, I can do this. And I've tried to build businesses with other network marketing companies. I believe it can be done. I've just never seen a compensation plan like this one. All right. Okay, so here comes, this is whenever the rubber meets the road. Okay, the commit and never quit. Okay, so when you, I'm not going to read exactly, but so when you start Plexus, you may have been just a little skeptical. Lose weight, make money? Yeah, right. Heard that one before. But then you get excited because then you start sharing it and somebody says, wow, you lost 5 pounds in a week. Hook me up. Tell me more. Tell me more. So they get started, and then it just keeps going on. And then you start getting these nice little emails that say, congratulations, you've got money. Those are fun emails to get. And so it probably feels a little like Christmas, is that you get this and it's exciting, and particularly if you have a goal that you're trying to reach, and it can be fun. So, but then you started thinking, okay, now what else can I do? How else can I grow? I start doing all these other things. But then after a while, things slow down because things happen like that. Things ebb and flow. It is like the ocean going in and out and in and out. Everything has a balance. Right? There's never 100% all the time. So you're going to have those times. The 100% all the time is your commitment to sticking to it. And so you may feel like you don't have as many people asking you about it or don't know anything. When we started these meetings here, I got 10 minutes. Hold on a second. Let me click the little cancel button. Where did I go here? Cancel. Okay, 10 minutes. Good thing it's a warning there. So whenever we first started having these meetings, the first 3 or 4 that we had, there was nobody here. I planned them. Nobody showed up. I still did the presentation. My husband was the most irritable customer, so I could practice. He'd come up with all kinds of reasons why he didn't want to do this. But it was good practice. But we did that. And now we have 11 people, 12 people here, and we've got 3 online. So it grows. It grows. Okay. So going back to over here. There we go. And that's what you start to do by stopping whenever you're getting, it keeps you from going emerald. You start making excuses. And then, like I said, Deborah Lawson did this whenever she was emerald. Okay, so she's just, that was where she was. So I broke a nail. I don't think I can go to the Plexus event tonight. I need to wash my hair at 8 instead of listening to the opportunity call. And this was when the opportunity call was at a certain time. I'm tired. I don't feel like hosting my Plexus event. And I could have said that, and in all honesty, I probably did once or twice. Like, oh, nobody's going to show up. Why should I go? And my husband's like, you are getting your butt there. You said you would be there. You're going to go. It's kind of like, you know, okay, fine. But what that does is that slows down your momentum, and then you start losing your enthusiasm for it. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep that going. If you have where you feel discouraged about something, this is a great way to remember this. And since we're ambassadors here and we're ambassadors online, you want to say, if you're feeling down, you go up. So if you're feeling down about something, you're going to go to your upline and say, hey, I'm feeling discouraged. Things aren't going, whatever. You go to your upline. You do not go to your downline, because then you're going to discourage them. And you don't want to do that. You want to encourage them. Now, when you're feeling up and things are going really good, that's when you go down. That's when you go down and encourage them. Okay? So whenever you're feeling down, you go up. Whenever you're feeling up, you go down. Okay? And I have done that many times, Charlotte will tell you. So just because, yeah, we're human. It just happens. Okay, so it's story time. Sorry, former English teacher. Okay, I'm going to read a story. I'll make it quick. All right, so this is something that, again, came from Deborah's presentation, and I don't have my bifocals on, so I'm going to have to hold it close. All right, so Mr. John C. Darby was caught by the gold fever in the gold rush days, and he went out west to dig and grow rich. He started a claim and went to work with a pick and a shovel. The going was hard, but his lust for gold was definite. After weeks of labor, he was rewarded by the discovery of the shiny ore. He needed machinery to bring that ore to the surface. So quietly he covered up the mine, retraced his footsteps to his home in Williamsburg, Maryland, and then told his relatives and a few neighbors of the strike. They then got together money for the needed machinery and shipped it to the location. Darby went back to work at the mine. The first car of ore was mined and shipped to the smelter. The returns proved that they had one of the richest mines in Colorado. A few more cars of that ore would clear up the debts. Then the big profits would come, and down went the drills, and up went their hopes. Then something happened. The vein of gold ore disappeared. They had come to the end of the rainbow, and the pot of gold was no longer there. They drilled on desperately, trying to pick up the vein again, but to no avail. Finally, they decided to quit. They sold the machinery to the junk man for a few $100s and took the train back home. Some junk men are dumb, but not this one. He called in a mining engineer to look at the mine and do a little calculating. The engineer advised that the project had failed because the owners were not familiar with the fault lines. His calculation showed that the vein would be found just 3 feet from where Darby had stopped drilling, and that's exactly where it was found. So anytime that you feel that it is, you know, oh, it's not going anywhere, things aren't happening, that's usually when you're just getting ready to strike it.
Like having a baby when you get to transition.
Ah, exactly, yes. That's when you want to quit. So what I'm doing, this is what Deborah had said, but I'm also asking you this as a One Plexus group, is asking you for at least a year. A year of taking your slim every day, of attending all local and company events, a year of listening to the opportunity calls, listening to the Rock the Pink, whatever information that you get, inviting others to do what you're doing, and give your full commitment to Plexus. Don't give any excuses. Persevere through your slow months and just push yourself harder every day to do your best. Okay? And I brought this in because I found this online. Mastermind event was like a network marketing event. But to show you the power of network marketing, because people think, if that's just somebody selling nail stuff or makeup or something like that. When you compare that the global sales, this is 2013, the most recent numbers that I saw, the NFL, which we tend to think makes a lot of money, $9.5 billion. Now, movie industry, $88 billion. We think, goodness, it costs a lot. It costs, a fortune to go to a movie these days. I don't know how the kids date these days. The natural foods industry, everybody's into natural foods. That's $90 billion. But when you look at network marketing, and that's all network marketing companies, that's $178 billion, because those are people you're already doing networking anyway. You go have a great meal at a restaurant, you're going to go tell somebody, but you're not getting paid for that. Okay? You have a great experience with CVS over here. Somebody says, I need to go get a prescription refill. Well, if you're on your Plexus, you don't need prescriptions anymore. Sorry, FDA, I didn't say that. But you say, okay, yeah, no, I really like that one more. I like Dickson Apothecary because I know the people that own that. So you're already doing that. So why not do it so that you can get paid for it? And wouldn't you really rather buy your multivitamin or your probiotic from a friend? Someone that if you had a problem with it, you could go talk to them versus having to go make an appointment with your doctor. Yeah. Now, if you do need to see your doctor, by all means, again, refer to the disclosure at the beginning. Okay. So I want you to remember this. This is Babe Ruth. Also looks like a picture of my dad. But every stride brings me closer to the next home run. And I heard this today. I was listening to a Harvey McKay reporting, and it was talking about when somebody bats 300. And so that's almost like I would consider to be a really good batting average. That's only 3 hits out of 10. That's it. That means that they missed 7 of them. But we don't say that. We said they have a batting average of 300. I want you to think about that. Instead of saying, I need 12 more ambassadors before I can get to be gold. Right? Say, I have 8 ambassadors. I have a team of 8. Not, I need 12. I have a team of 8. Focus on what you have. Be positive about what you have. And focusing on that positive, it makes a world of difference. I mean, really, if you're going to have to go through the tough times, at least focus on the positive, because that's going to be what keeps you going on that. So let me see. I think this is our last one. All right. So any questions? Online, any questions?
Back to Babe Ruth's statement.
Uh-huh.
Every no would be closer to the next yes.
Yes. Every no brings you closer to the next yes. And there is a great book, if you haven't heard of it, I know it's been mentioned in some of the groups, it's called Go for No. It is a really good book, Go for No, and it's told like a story, and we heard it on, listened to it online, got it on Audible or whatever, but it's a story, and you get caught up in the story, just like everybody loves a good story. And so you get caught up in that, and when you change your focus from, I'm going for no, then the yeses are kind of, oh, okay. So I had to do that a couple of times where I just had to say, okay, no, got my first no today. And if you kind of celebrate that, then no matter, and those of you who believe in Murphy's Law, then if you're going for no, then you're going to get more yeses.